spent a lot of time in trees in this movie.
Yep.
In Oregon. I lived there for 4 years.
Oh, really? You spent a lot of time in trees?
Yeah, I did, strangely enough, picking ticks out of my non-existent hair. It's a word, but
I've been hit.
Yeah?
Doing wire work before, where you're just pulled by the wire, but this is the first time I've actually had to try and control my body. It's very hard.
I understand it's experimental process that they were doing. You had to they made it look like you were running fast.
Yeah, it was no one really knew how to. We were just inventing stuff. The wire which we used to run fast is a setup for a camera, to film cars and stuff, and we were just just put the guy in it, just hang him off it, and so no one really knew if it would work, and it was kind of all these things where the wire would bounce because you're pretending to run, and so it would get all the balance off. And so you had to have complete center of gravity. You'd have to be so still but also moving, and then try and make it not look robotic, and it was impossible.
No, I was completely unaware of the Twilight world, and once I became aware, I suddenly noticed it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the fans have been coming out of the woodwork even before the movies have been released.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard of it when I went into it, and I didn't really know about it the whole time I was shooting. And then when we came back to LA to do reshoots, suddenly 200 fans were at the set, and we were just like, where did this start? And then literally from that day forth, when we went back to LA, people came up to you the whole time in the street, and I was like, how do you know? And it literally changed. It used to be from Harry Potter. And suddenly one day they're just like, it's Edward Cullen. It's a really strange experience.
Except now you are Harry Potter. I think, and it's only just started, my friend. We moved from Portland, Oregon, so I want to know how you love the rainy.
Cool town, but the weather is annoying.
I try to explain to people, and that in the course of a day you can have 5 seasons, pretty much. I don't know how anybody got any filming done.
No, I know. We had to jump around every 5 minutes. The weather changed.
Yeah. Now, you did, I would imagine if you were afraid of heights, you'd have a little bit of problem with this role, because especially working in the trees, was that a little different?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we were on a platform, and we were also, on a cliff, which gave the illusion of being in a tree, really, up at the top of the tree, even though we weren't. And there was, a couple days of being on a harness attached to Rob. Yeah. It was really cool that we didn't have to be on a green screen. I mean, most of this, you read the script and you're like, oh, okay, effects movie, green screen movie, but we didn't have the money to do that. We really pulled it off in person, so.
Yeah, but the wire work, though, I mean, is exhausting? I've always heard people say how tiring it is just hanging around.
It really is.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pressure points, armpits, start to kill.
After a while. And the other thing, too, is I was just telling, you're filming a lot in the woods. I asked, did anybody check you for ticks? Because I know.
Oh, God. I hate ticks. I can't.
They were like, what? Ticks? I'm like, yeah, every time you take your dog in the woods in Portland, you got to check them because they always have ticks on them somewhere. And they didn't know, so somebody blindsided them with that, I would imagine.
Yeah, actors are very sheltered. You don't want to freak out the actors because they'll have nervous breakdowns and ruin your whole day of shooting because we're really fragile little creatures. So. I
kept thinking of that, too, because there's scenes where you're lying in the woods or you're in the woods, standing in the woods. And when I see that, I cringe because that's all I think about when I'm in there. And so
yeah, because of spiders and ticks and blood-sucking creatures.
Now, we know that, I guess we could say that Edward's character is a tortured soul, but was Bella a tortured soul as well, you think?
No, not at all. She's, in the beginning of the movie, as much as everybody says, oh, she's an outsider and she doesn't really know how she fits in, she is perfectly fine with that, and she just really is, fine with being solitary. She's not, searching for something in the beginning of the movie. It's a skewed balance. I mean, she helps him. He doesn't really help her.
Okay. You know, she has the greatest entrance, too, to Edward, too, walking in front of the fan with the hair blowing.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really funny, but I was not aware of Twilight. Never heard about it, but once you find out about Twilight, it's freaking everywhere.
In Pittsburgh, I was doing another movie when I auditioned for it. Catherine came to Pittsburgh, and we, worked for 4 hours in this room. And then when I came back, I was like, oh, wow, it's really everywhere. Like, once you're aware of it, it just slaps you in the face everywhere you go.
I imagine the fans are coming out of the woodworks, too, probably more than you care to. Well, you just said Pittsburgh. I actually live in Pittsburgh now, and Aaron Pittsburgh as well. What were you doing in Pittsburgh?
You moved from Portland to Pittsburgh.
Exactly. I've been stalking you,
You have
actually.
been.
Yeah, what are you
but,
doing?
like, in a reverse way.
Yeah, okay, you were doing that before. What's going on in Pittsburgh?
A movie called Adventureland.
Okay.
Greg Mottola, who directed Superbad. It's his second movie. It's not like a broad comedy. It is funny at times, but it's really sweet. It's more of like a dramedy.
And what time of the year were you there?
Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Last year.
That's not too bad. Chilly, but nice. Pittsburgh treat you well?
Oh yeah. Pittsburgh was fun too. Pittsburgh was like real, not a city, but just like a town. Like living in an American town. It was kind of cool. I liked it.
Now, once you find out, like I said, they're everywhere, did you read all through the books or anything? Because now I'm kind of interested in finding out more, but then there's a part of me that wants to kind of just wait for the movie.
I mean, how similar are they?
Yeah.
They're sort of the same. It's funny, it's a 500-page book condensed into like an hour and a half or whatever the movie is. But there's nothing from the book, and I care about the book just as much as the rabid fans, that I feel like we didn't get to experience that, and I'm really disappointed. It really is like all of the iconic scenes are in the movie, and the essence and the feeling is really, I mean, I think there.
Was the rehearsal for the kiss the slowest attempt of a kiss I think I've ever seen on screen?
I know.
Did you guys actually rehearse how slow that was going to be? Or were you going?
Yeah, absolutely. That we had an entire day to do that scene.
It probably took an entire day to film.
Yeah, I know. 2 takes later, and it's like lunch. And then, yeah, that was one of the scarier scenes. I've been talking a lot. Scenes to shoot. It needed to be really specific because vampires don't exist, right? And so you don't know what it feels like to be around one or to let them get it right, to have like the responsiveness be really specific and like acute and noticeable.
Pena, vamos embora pro bar.
Bebê cai, levanta, bebê cai.
É hora de dar tchau. Tchau.